You gotta make it motivate you. There are a lot of things going on in our county, in our state, in our nation, and around the world. You need to be intimately involved in. Know the details. See, we're getting ready to go to the polls in November, and if you've ever been an election judge, people come in and have no earthly idea what they're voting on. They know one thing. Somebody has sent them there to vote for one person on one proposition on that ballot. The rest of it, they have no idea what they're doing. And then they'll admit it to you. They're not ashamed of it. And we must change that attitude. But you can't change it sitting here on Fridays and doing nothing. So we got a new program called TUG that this organization has endorsed, and they'll be opening it out to you to go walk blocks, get people energized. But we got to energize you first. Now, I know no better person to do that than our executive director, Joanne Fleming. Joanne, they need a double shot. Can you give it to them?
Thanks, Ernie. Good morning, everybody. Hello, grassroots.
Good morning, Joanne.
Okay, where's Sharon Emmer?
Right here.
Get up here, Sharon.
I didn't do it. Yes, I did do it.
Sharon's got something on local government that she needs to share with us.
Is
So
this one on?
I think it is. Turn it on. It'll be a green light.
Oh, there. I don't know how to turn
Just wait
those
for just a
on.
few minutes.
I see a green light. Does that mean go?
Ready to roll.
So everybody can hear it.
Good morning. Well, that's not on.
Ready to go here.
Okay. Nope.
Try
It was
again,
green. It was green and then it turned red.
Here.
Joanne, let me
Burning
borrow.
light. Daylight.
That's
Here.
right. We're wasting time. You all will find on your table a copy of a statement that I presented to commissioners this past Tuesday morning. I've got feedback here. I hope that you will take the time to read it and that you will be motivated to take action. As most of you probably know, I was a county commissioner in Precinct 1 for 8 years, from 97 through 04.
That woman.
Yeah, that woman. And Joanne followed me in that position and served for 4 years. I'm here to tell you that at the end of that 12 years that we worked hard, Joanne and I blazed some trails, but Smith County government was more transparent and responsive to the citizens than it had ever been before. I'm sad to tell you that in the last 5 years, under the leadership of County Judge Joel Baker, they have taken huge steps backwards. And it's going to continue that way unless we help them turn the ship back on course. So if you will read my statement, you'll know basically what I hit them pretty hard on Tuesday morning, and that was about the fact that they have still not bothered to hire a budget officer. And if you'll read that, you'll understand why that is so important. And Commissioner Terry Phillips is here, and I can tell you, Terry has been on board and begging for a budget officer for years, and I think Terry Nix would tell you the same thing. But I had a conversation with my county commissioner, the one who followed Joanne and me into that position on the court, Jeff Ward. And this is the one thing I asked him to do, and I would encourage y'all to call and encourage him to do the same thing and be polite. He seems very open to it at this point, but the particular line item that I discussed, which you will see in that article, I asked him to please make sure if they have to change the description of that line item or whatever they have to do. I'm very much discouraging them from even considering hiring a county administrator. But I want to be sure that money in that line item can be used to hire a budget officer this year. So that's the message he needs to hear. You all need to hire a budget officer and make sure when you adopt this budget next Tuesday, there is provision in that budget for you to be able to do that. Okay? That's what you need to do. So, I'm optimistic that he's gonna work to make that happen, but he and the judge need to hear from you all, telling them that's what you want. And Terry's wanting to say something, I believe. But, if y'all have any additional questions, I will be over here, and I will be glad to discuss it with you further after the meeting if you need to.
Just real quick, Sharon just mentioned one item in the budget that's wrong, is not having the budget officer in this county administrator position. That's over $200-something thousand to create this office. There's a tax increase. It's wrong. We got 22% reserve fund. Our policy is 17%. There's no reason in the world for this tax increase. Another bad thing, they're creating a county attorney that represents Commissioners Court that will be under Commissioners Court. But right now, under statute, we have an attorney out of Matt Bingham's office that represents us. Why do we need another one unless we get rid of this one? I mean, it's just creating another position, growing government. So you have the attorney position, you have the tax increase, and you have the retirement increase. I know maybe some of you want it. I'm not for it. We worked too hard to get that down to 1% when we did. They raised it to 1.25%. It's very good. It's more than double than what anybody in this town or county pays their employees other than entities. We saved $5.5 million over the 5-year period that we had that cut. $5.5 million that y'all didn't have to pay out of tax dollars, having it at the 1% and the 1.25%. And now we're trying to go around the other way. That is just wrong. Collin County, there's an article that somebody sent me from Collin County, and the judge there said that, they're going broke and they're turning around their thing and they're fixing to reduce theirs to 1.25% or something. So there are 4 major hiccups in this budget that I wish we could get some help on. I hope y'all show up and speak against it next week. Thank you.
Yes. Next Tuesday, they're voting on the budget, so we have very, very limited amount of time. You need to call them this afternoon or Monday, make sure they get the message to hire a budget officer next year. Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you, Sharon. Okay. I want to give a shout out of support for the Kaufman County Tea Party. Kaufman County Tea Party on September 20th is going to have their annual fundraiser. Their speaker is Sheriff Joe Arpaio. If you are interested in attending that event, I have some information about it, and I can send you to some of my good friends in the Kaufman County Tea Party. So if you're interested in that, just let me know. Jack, for some reason, there's really bad feedback this morning from this mic, so if you'd adjust it before Brandon gets here, that'd be super. Okay, so next Friday, we're going to have Dr. Jeffrey Adicott. The thing that I want you to know about Dr. Adicott, in addition to what you've got on your tables, is that he is going around the country now with a group of people that are working on informing both law enforcement and increasing public awareness about the threat, the national security threat of an open southern border. And he's speaking specifically on terrorism. So after Brandon gets done showing you the video today and speaking to you about it, you'll be increasingly aware of the horrible threat we're under of a terrorist attack on people just coming right over the southern border. Now, after that, I'm thinking that it's probably going to be time on September the 5th, if Ashton doesn't have something already planned, and I checked and I don't see that, and Ashton's in Colorado today. I think probably on the first Friday in September, I'm going to do a presentation for you all on the grassroots plan to secure the border, and I mean secure the border. This is not about, this is a constitutional plan. It's based on the United States Constitution, Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 of the United States Constitution that gives states the right, the opportunity to declare themselves in a state of imminent danger and to secure the border, to also enter into compacts with other states to do that. So I will tell you that it also relies heavily on some provisions in the Texas Constitution that addresses the issue of what is called the Texas military. And we speak specifically in this plan about, we give a good background. As I said last night, we wrote this for people who have either been asleep, under a rock, or on purposely being stupid about the open border. And so, once we reveal what we're going to ask elected officials to do, trust me, there will be a hue and cry of the likes of which you've never heard before. Because people that are utterly ignorant about the United States Constitution are going to say, oh, those people are just crazy. Well, that's the price for trying to defend liberty. And we're good with that. I'm good with being called names. It's happened for about 22 years, and after a while, you just don't care anymore. So I intend to go over this with you all to explain the constitutional support and foundation for it, and how we're going to go about asking elected officials to do it. It can be done. This is what it takes: political will, political backbone. Because what we're doing now in the state of Texas is we are participating in the federal catch and release program. We're just, once they get over the border, we're turning them over to ICE, and then they have this bureaucratic maze of decision making, and most of them are released. Even those who are deported many times come back multiple times, and I will remind you of Border Agent Vega, who was killed, I believe it was on August the 5th, murdered in cold blood in front of his parents, in front of his wife and children, and by illegals that were deported, one 4 times and another one 3 times, and they continue to come back. Now, does anybody see my friend Brandon? Okay. He'll be in here. Brandon is the managing editor for Breitbart, Texas. And I hope that you all are all familiar with Breitbart, Texas. How many people in here know about Breitbart, Texas? Please, I want to see a bunch of hands up. That's great. That is the #1 place for you to go to get news that you will not get anywhere else. And I'm going to go ahead and begin to ease into introducing Brandon with the hope that he'll soon be here. Because the way that Brandon has become, I think, one of the foremost voices, if not the voice, for the real truth about what is happening on the border, is because he has gone about for about 1.5 years of establishing a rapport and establishing credibility with the United States Border Patrol and law enforcement. And when you have developed that kind of trust, that level of trust, then when they realize that the real truth is being suppressed by the media and by politicians, then they begin to give Brandon documents. And Breitbart, Texas, through Brandon's work, has revealed a lot of things. For example, the first pictures that were shown of the conditions inside of the holding facilities where people were just packed into those facilities. The other thing is that the fact that, Jack, I'm getting a lot of feedback on this again, and Brandon is about to walk up here, is the fact that the border has been exploited by the world. Over 75 countries have people who have crossed illegally into the United States through the Texas border. So it is time for us today to give Brandon a warm welcome, and I would ask all of y'all to please turn on